Bookies, today we are going to do the comfort tag. I think that's what it's called. Is it comfort reading tag? I'm so sorry. Comfort reading tag. So let's get started. So I saw a book Olive do this tag, so I will leave hers down below, but the original creator is the Babbling Bee. I will also leave hers below, and it's 10 prompts. So number 1, and again I'll just put them somewhere on the screen. Number 1, the kettle's on. A book of steadfast comfort, always there for you, makes any day better like a cup of tea. Now I don't drink tea, and I don't really do comfort reads because I have so much to do. But if I did, it would probably be this one, Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. While I enjoy a ton of books, this was the first book that got me into the YA genre, and I pretty much reread it with some frequency. It's one of the very few books that I have reread, and it's just nice knowing what's going to happen, but still being surprised by the details you forgot. Number 2, Grandmother's Quilt. A book that reminds you of a loved one, or a comforting book that was given to you or read aloud to you by someone dear. So there was a time when I was younger and I fell out of love with reading, as a lot of kids tend to do. And to try to get that back, my mom and my dad and me all read together Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which I still fondly remember, even though there is a lot of trauma involved with some of my childhood. That is one of the very fondest memories I have of my parents. Number 3, Warm Spices. A book with particularly vivid prose or imagery. A story comforting in its richness, depth, or vibrance. Wow, this tag might be a little bit too much for me. Particularly vivid prose or imagery. So I'm going to choose a graphic novel, because what's more vivid than that? But Crushing. Crushing was such a good book. And it's told completely without words, spoken by either of the main characters, and it's just such a good read. It does so good at showing what love in the time of COVID looks like. Number 4, Candlelight. A book that keeps you going or encourages you when things feel dark. I don't reread this book as much as I should. Again, I have an overflowing TBR. But The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, a lot of times when I don't feel motivated or I'm having a really deep depression moment, I really like to rewatch The Hunger Games, or I like to reminisce about this book. I probably should reread it. Number 5, Laugh Medicine. A book that makes you laugh out loud or grin wildly, coming to the rescue on the gloomiest days. I think in recent times, a book that made me laugh out loud was this one, Cupcake by Cookie O'Gorman. It's comforting in its own way, but there's a lot of fandom stuff that goes on. And it was such a sweet book. It was such a sweet read. One that is always going to be on my shelves. Number 6, In Bed All Day. You've got your warm drink, a cozy blanket. What do you read when you're curled up in bed all day? This one. I love Jane Eyre retellings, and this is my favorite, Brightly Burning by Alexia Doon. Number 7, a book that brings you solace no matter how many times you reread it. I feel like a cheat if I keep using the same book, so I'm going to go with a different one, H2O, which is now called The Rain by Virginia Bergin. You wouldn't think apocalyptic books would comfort me, but you know, sometimes it does. But this is such a good story about probably one of the most annoying characters that you will ever read, who then becomes the cinnamon roll character and then the badass that we all get in our usual books. Such a good duology. I highly recommend it. Number 8, Portable Hope. A book that restores your faith in humanity, faith in life, faith in yourself. A book that says it's going to be okay, the world is full of good things, and tomorrow will be better. Oh, 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. It has one of my favorite tropes, which is such a weird trope. Family sets me up on blind dates. But the way that the family is, it just really makes me, it just really makes me happy. And I love seeing like how close they are together, because I never really had that closeness with any of my family. Number 9, a basket for your neighbor. Just as it's lovely to be comforted by books, it can be lovely to pass the comfort along. Imagining you were putting together a cozy comfort blanket for your neighbor or friend, loved one, your take. Which books would you include? I think we're going to go with Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Bashardoust. Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. And You Should See Me in a Crown by Lee Johnson. And then number 10, A Walk in the Woods. Though we'd like to stay curled up indoors with our books forever, or at least I would. I would too, girl. We've got to venture into the world again sometime. A walk in the woods always helps me feel refreshed. Tell us about a book with beautiful nature writing, or a book that restores your peace. I know. The Nature Witches by Rachel Griffin. The way that the author writes the nature, and how she writes the main character using nature in her powers and everything. It's so good. It's such a well done book. Highly recommend. So yeah, that is it for the comfort reading tag. If you want to try, just tag me in it so that way I can see. And I thank you guys for watching. See you again. Bye.